Okay, let us start with the arrays of pointers. Can you hear me all?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes,
I'm not able.
sir.
Okay, thank you. Mute yourself. Okay, we know that the pointers is one of the feature where we know that the pointer is a feature particularly which will very important feature which is the derived data structure. Pointer is a derived data structure which can be used for the data. Our C language, know that there are different data types. One of the data type is a pointer. So there are some situations where we can use pointers. We can say that pointer will enable to us to access the variables which are defined outside of the function. So pointers are more efficient in handling data tables. Those will reduce the length and complexity of the plan. They will increase the execution speed, and the use of pointers array to character strings result in saving of data storage space in the memory. So we know that the pointer is very helpful for creating number of things with this language. So one of the feature is pointers. We have seen how to declare a pointer, what is pointer, where it resides, how to declare it, and how to initialize that pointer. We know that we can use their two symbols, that is ampersand, which will store the address of any variable, and star, that is the asterisk, will be used for value at address. So those all things which we have to keep in mind. Yesterday we have seen about the pointers, how to declare, how to initialize the pointer. In this session, we have to see the array of pointers. So there may be some situations where we can say where we can use these pointers to maintain the arrays, and we can store the pointers to an integer or character or any other data type which are available with C language. This is the pointer declaration. We have done the pointer declaration here. What is that? That is integer star ptr in bracket max. Max is written in capital letters. Keep in mind, max is in capital letters, that we can say the max is defined as a max is defined as the constant. The value of max is constant. In star PTR, we know that we can declare any pointer with the help of star. Now this will declare PTR as an array of maximum integer pointers. Thus, each element in PTR will hold a pointer to an integer value. So what is the maximum value? Anyway, for example, 5. For example, 5. So there will be 5 integer values. Those are actually stored with the pointer. So this we can use, for example, 3 integers are there which will store an array of pointers. Just we can say, see these pointers. This is the example where we declared the maximum value of max value is 3. This is the integer and it's a constant value. A is not declared inside this bracket. That is not declared, so that there are only 3 values because we have declared outside this. Now 10, 100 and 200 are the values. We have declared integer I and star PTR maximum values. So what is the max value? That is a 3. Is 3. So we have given the for loop that I is equal to 0 to I is less than max. So less than max is that will be 10 to 0, 1 and 2. Not 3. 3 will be there, but it should not be done because it will always start with 0. So 3 times this loop will execute. What it loop gives that the for loop is given that ampersand A of I, ampersand A of I, what is that? A of I is given here. See, this is the array declaration, and array has 3 values, 10, 100 and 200. So that will assign the address of an integer. Address of every integer will be stored in PTR I. That is the pointer variable. So every ith value, so 0th value, one of the address will be stored. In the first value, there will be another value. Second, there will be a next value. Now, those all values, that is ampersand of A of I, that is ampersand, this is the address. Every address is get stored in this PTR I. So PTR 0, PTR 1 and PTR 2 will hold different 3 values. Now, there is another loop, that is for I is equal to 0 to I is less than max, that is 0, 1 and 2 times this loop will get executed, and the value of variable will be get printed. So what is that value? Value of variable 0, %d, what is that? %d will give that the 0, 1 and 2. See here in the at the output level 0, 1 and 2. The same thing which is printed here. %d, that will be first value, 0th value will be %d \n, it will go to the next line. What is the value of I? First value of I is 0. First value of I is 0, and star PTR of I, that will hold every value of, see here, every value of array. Which are those values? The first value is 10. So variable of 0 value will be 10. The next value will be 100. And next value. This is the execution of array of pointers. Okay. Now, again, we shall just revise those things which will be called as a pointer declaration, initialization of the pointer, and how to access any pointer. Consider the following statement. For example, integer quantity is equal to qty, quantity is equal to 179. 179 is a value. See here, this is a value. And what is quantity? This is variable. Let's represent it in figure. Memory variable can be represented as follows. Variable name. This is a variable name. You can say variable. Yes, we can just write this name. What is this 179? 179 is the value which is stored in the memory. 179 is stored of our computer. The memory may contain many more memory locations. How many memory locations? Any 64 kilobyte computer can store 65,536 values. So now there is a huge memory locations in computers. How many? We know that our computer has a memory locations. How many memory locations? Lot of memory locations. Let us see that we are using the memory of 1 TB, 1 terabyte. So 1 terabyte memory locations will be get stored. 1 terabyte memory locations. One of the memory locations has a value. This 179 is stored on the address 5000. This is address 5000. So is the particular address of 179. What is this address? This is address home, like our home. Say we have our unique address in our city or in our village. We have our own address, home address. Everybody has different home address. How we can say only address may contain 4 or 5 people in the family, and those family members, but the address are the same one. So that, for example, if we are in one, that is this particularly memory location, we have address that is a 5000. Every village home has given as an address, that is the home number. You can say home number, or you can say house number. This house number is called as an address. Like this, computer also, the address will be get stored on the memory. Okay, so this will be done with this quantity. Now, how we can declare a pointer? It means that P is a pointer variable which holds the address of another integer variable as mentioned in the statement below. For example, you can see here integer star p, this p is a pointer variable. This will hold the address of another integer variable. Why integer variable? Because we have declared this p as an integer. Okay, now let us see next how we can initialize a pointer. That address operator and is used to initialize the pointer variable. For example, you can say integer quantity is equal to 175, that is 179, like this 175 is there. Integer star p, so this is a pointer variable p, and only p is holding the ampersand quantity. Ampersand quantity is address of quantity. This is address of quantity. Address of quantity, what is that? For example, that is at 5,000. This is the 5,000. So this is represented in this figure. You can say variable name is a quantity. Quantities have value 175, but 175 is the value which is stored in the memory location, and it has address 5,000. Every value in the memory location has its own address. So that address is get here. But this address is very important thing which may considered or which may be used for further calculations, and this address has some value which is stored in some another memory location. See here, this is another memory location. Another memory location. So this is very important because P will hold the value. P is equal to 5,000. The value is 5,000. But what is this 5,000? 5,000 is an address of 175. But this P variable which holds the value 5,000, but this 5,000 is some memory location, and it has also an address which is 5,048, and this 5,048 is this 5 value. This is a value, but here it is an address, but this address is stored in some memory locations. Okay, so P is holding ampersand quantity. What is ampersand quantity? Ampersand quantity is 5,000. See here, and value at that is value of quantity is 175. Value of variable quantity is 175. So that can be achieved by using this pointer variable. How we can do this? Let us see. See here, the same example discussed with how to access this sample. Accessing a variable through its pointer, that is, to access the value of the variable, indirection operator star is called as the indirection operator. So this may be used, this may be asked for the MCQ. What is star? Star is the indirection operator. So this is indirection operator. What is that? Star will be called as an indirection operator. So this may be used as a or asked for the examination, that is the indirection operator. Star will be used. For example, let us see, integer quantity is equal to 175. Integer star P is declared as a pointer variable. Integer n is a normal variable. 175 is constant value. N is a normal variable, and star P is a pointer variable. Now P is holding ampersand of quantity. Ampersand of quantity, what is that? Ampersand of quantity is 5,000. In our previous slide, it is shown that P will hold the value 5,000. P is holding the value 5,000, but n is equal to star P. What is this n is equal to star P? Star P is a pointer variable. So that is the value of the variable. What it will be hold? Star P here star P is equal to what will be value? This will be 175. Star P is having the value 175. P is having the value 5000. Here star can be treated as a value at address, very important, value at address, and ampersand we can call it as a address of. What is that? Address of. Yesterday we have seen both of these operators, that is star and ampersand. So the address of, you can say. Now the two statements which are equivalent to the following statements. What is this? P is equal to ampersand quantity. So P is having the value 5000. N is equal to star P. So N will be holding value. N will be holding the value, that is 175. So N is equal to quantity. So what is that? N is equal to quantity. Yes, N is equal to quantity, that is 175 is equal to 175. Can you see this one? That is two statements which are equivalent. What is that? N is equal to star P and N is equal to quantity. Both are similar one. Say these are similar values, similar statements. These two are similar statements. I cannot write exactly. Some sort of a pen has different things, or we can write on this screen. So that will be N is equal to star P and N is equal to quantity are the same, or you can say those are equivalent. Hold the value 175. So that is accessing a variable through one array, that is one-dimensional array. What is that? What is the definition of one-dimensional array? Can you say? And list elements. There are some situations of different types in the array, but there's a mistake. You compiler allocate continue memory location. Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? Now,
Yes,
again the thing is that, okay, yes. The elements in this array, the elements of this array will be integer A5 is 20, 30, 40, and 50. These elements are actually static elements, or we have initialized the array elements. 5 elements are there. A of 5 is equal to 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. So what are those elements? These 5 elements are get stored. For example, element A0, element A1, element A2, element A3, and element A4. Why it is started with 0? Always keep in mind, array, one-dimensional array or two-dimensional array or any dimensional array will be always start with the 0 as the index element. Now, what are the values? 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. And where these values are stored, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, those are the elements of this array. Those are stored in on the address. Example, first address is 1000, second 1000, third is 1008, next is 1012, and next is 116. Those are the which are actually stored on these addresses. These addresses are just given here. But which is the base address is first address, that is the 1000, that is a value. Ampersand of z is 1000. Ampersand a of 0 is just you. This is the base address. So base is 1000. Element, that is 1000 is a base address, and every address has different 4 memory locations. So there will be a 4 bytes. 4 bytes will be required to store. 4 bytes are required to store these elements. That is the value of this element 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. So this is a one-dimensional array with the pointers. What is the explanation of this one? Let us see. If P is an integer pointer, then array A can pointed by the following assignment. That is P is equal to A. P is equal to A, or you can say P is equal to ampersand of A0. Ampersand of A0 is 1000. So what is the first base address? First base address was 1000. So every value of A is accessed by using P double plus. P double plus is the incrementing value. To move from one element to another element, we have to increment those all elements which are accessed by A. When a pointer is incremented, its value is increased by the size of the data type that will be pointing to. So what is the size of this data type? So this data type has a 4 bytes. So this length is called as a scale factor. Keep in mind, for MCQ this may be used. For MCQ this may be used. That is a scale factor. What is scale factor? The length of the size of the data type. That is a scale factor. So what is the relation? You can say this P is equal to ampersand P plus 1. We have maintained plus that ampersand A 1000. P amp of A2, that is ampersand says everything is get stored as address. Ampersand of A2 is 1008, that's the address. Ampersand A3 is address 1012. And of A4 is address that doesn't see. So P plus 4 will hold 2000. So this is a particularly a 1016 as an explanation of this array. Okay. Let us clear this all. So what is the program on pointer and one-dimensional array? Let us see one of the program that we have written here. Example of this program. Following C program for the pointers and one-dimensional integer A5, there are 2 elements. So A5 is an array. A is the value. Integers are this is written as a pointer variable. I is the normal variable. Enter the 5 elements. How many elements? I is equal to 0 to is less than 5. How many are 5 elements? We have to enter the 5 elements. Now this is the important statement. P is equal to ampersand of A0. Ampersand of A0. That is a